At the end of the day, a healthy bourbon industry, a healthy spirits industry is part of what makes the communities thrive.
What leaders are saying about the current state of Kentucky's bourbon industry. U.S. Senator Mitch McConnell says a trade war could hurt Kentucky farmers. It's been 2 weeks since President Donald Trump's tariffs on Canadian and Mexican goods went into effect. Both countries have responded with their own tariffs. And Trump's Treasury Secretary announced today there are more to come. Senator McConnell has long warned against tariffs, but now that they're a reality, all he says he can do is complain and hope for the best.
I'm not a fan of tariffs. I hope it works, but if it goes on very long, we'll have more of what we've already experienced in Canada with the taking bourbon off the shelves. And American farmers, we have 70,000 farmers in Kentucky, basically make their money off of trade, export. So I think a long-term trade war would be a mistake. They did that in the 30s. It was called the Smoot-Hawley Act. Very protectionist, did not work, tended to extend the American Depression to other countries. So I'm hoping that the president will be satisfied here sometime soon. By the way, this is not a legislative matter. He has authority to do this. We don't get to do anything other than complain, as I just did. But he has the authority to do what he's doing.
McConnell spoke to reporters in Elizabethtown today. He was in Hardin County to meet with the Knox Regional Development Authority, which promotes Fort Knox and the region's defense industry. More than 1,000 spirits industry professionals have convened on the University of Kentucky as the James B. Beam Institute holds its annual bourbon event. Some of the main topics of conversation this year: tariffs, expansion, and what's next.
In this business, it's like being in the farming business. Every year there's a challenge. You know, one year the bugs eat up your crop. The same way, one year we had a barrel shortage, and now, you know, everybody's concerned about the tariffs.
Obviously, tariffs are a dynamic situation. We had a 36-hour trade war with Colombia, so it's really hard to predict.
Well, it is a little concerning about the tariffs. Don't know where it's all going to land. Hopefully that it all get worked out before it gets really critical. And the people in the world's got to drink, and they don't like the tariffs either. So hopefully these other countries will come around and settle on an agreement.
If you look at the overall spirits industry, you know, obviously a challenging year in 2024, but there are still really interesting pockets of growth. I think for bourbon in particular, there's two things we really need to think through. The first is, what are the global opportunities, and where can bourbon and the whiskey industry grow? And then the second is, how do we make sure we're keeping relevant to consumers? On a geographic standpoint, there's huge opportunities if you look at the profit pools for whiskey around the world, there's huge opportunities in Latin America for bourbon, huge opportunity in India for bourbon.
The conference is really built on transparent sharing of data. I love now that we're drawing people from all over, if not only all over the United States, all over the world. And there's ideas to improve the efficiency of supply chain from corn, and we have many of our growers in the audience. Then that's really exciting to me to see just the connectivity between the place and the product, and a lot of discussion around that.
At the end of the day, a healthy bourbon industry, a healthy spirits industry is part of what makes the communities thrive. That sustainability is core to that as well, because our right to operate is dependent on healthy water, healthy wood, healthy grain. And also our right to operate depends on staying relevant. And so making a bigger table for the next generation of distillers and innovators to come in and challenge the industry and push innovation. That keeps us relevant, it keeps the industry relevant, it keeps bourbon relevant.
The three-day conference ends tomorrow. Kentucky Commissioner of Agriculture Jonathan Schell is expected to close the conference by signing a proclamation making March 19th Kentucky Agriculture Trade Day.